this is really your first complete short film?
This is the first. The films that I had mentioned before, like The Price and the things I did with Joey and the things I would do on my own, those were just basically me holding the camera and being the one-man crew and whatnot. Sort of like what that filmmaker Robert Rodriguez does. Like, he's all over the place. But The Pleasing List was my first complete short film where I was literally directing a crew of other film students and directing actors, or at least people aspiring to be professional actors, rather than just getting my friends together.
All right, so let's talk a little bit about the actor who is playing the young man who has Asperger's in the film. How did you find him?
Ken Ashton, fantastic actor. He's currently doing a web series, I believe, and he deserves every bit of success. I went to lacasting.com, which is a wonderful site for casting directors and student filmmakers. I had used it previously on a project for school, and I went there and I basically posted the part. And it's funny because I wasn't expecting that I was going to get that many submissions, but literally within a couple of days, 25 submissions, 25 actors submitting their headshots, and Ken was one of them. And he had said, he had made a little note saying that I have experience with autism. I'm like, okay, I'm going to not necessarily cast him, but I want to meet him. And he told me that he had experience being around children on the spectrum. Like, he had been to, I think, summer camps and things. And he, you know, we did the screen test, the audition with him. And it's like, me and my casting director my casting assistant was, we were both like, okay, I believe it. I believe everything that he did.
Now, did you have to spend a lot? So he already had some experience, but did you spend a lot of time talking with him, especially for that scene where you get to see sensory-wise what he's seeing? Did you spend a lot of time telling him what it's like for you, or did you tell him what it was like for other people? How did you approach that?
To be honest, it was really in the script.
Okay.
A lot of it was in the script, and I did go over some things with him, but he had such good instincts and such a good, thorough knowledge of it. Like, for example, when we did the screen test with him, the audition for the first time, he would, you know, in the script I had during that scene, not to give too much away, but the character Chris is kind of doing this and he's kind of groaning. Yeah. And in the audition he was doing just that. Yeah. And I didn't even tell him to do that.
Okay.
And so there wasn't that much discussion with the actors because they were so great, and I think that the script helped. A lot of it came from just the script.
Well, it's got a wonderful message. It's beautifully shot, as we just saw. People can watch this entire film. It's available for them to watch for free. It's about 9 minutes or so long.
9 minutes and 2 seconds. So not very long.
The filmmaker would know. So again, they can go to youtube.com/The Pleasing List, a short film about Asperger's. That's where you can find it. You can also, they've got a Facebook page, and you can also Google Jonathan Carlender to be able to find it. So Jonathan, are you in school right now? Is that part of why this happened? Was this part of a school thing, or totally on your own?
Well, I graduated from Columbia College Hollywood last June, and I was in a thesis class in my final year, and as part of the requirement, you had to work on a thesis film. But it didn't have to necessarily be your thesis film.
Okay.
Even if you were literally like a grip for 3 days on somebody else's project, you would get your grade. But
okay.
And I was an editing major, not a film directing it, but I was an editing major. But in my final year, I was like, you know what? I want to make my own film. I want to say something that is personal about me as a person, and so I made the film, shot the film in literally 2 days, and did it entirely on my own. You know, it was not required of me to do it, but I think in order to succeed in the arts, you need to go above and beyond what is just required of you, and that's how you succeed in college too.
Yeah. So what do you want to do now?
Well, my hope is the industry will embrace the film, give me a chance, and hopefully I'll be directing films, and I hope to get The Pleasing List made as a feature at some point. I already have some ideas of story-wise on how to expand upon it, and again, it's gotten, I can't tell you the number of people who have written to me saying your film brought me to tears, or your film has given me hope for my child, and that's way better than any student award or anything that I'll ever get.
And I'm just wondering, because it seems like a very popular thing in the entertainment industry right now to have characters who are on the autism spectrum, and in particularly are on the Asperger end of things. We've seen The Bridge had a main character that was Asperger's. We just watched, there's a new show, and I wish I could think what it is, but my husband and I just watched the pilot of it the other day, where clearly the young man on it is on the Asperger end of things. I don't know if you saw The Imitation Game. The movie that's out right now, that where Benedict Cumberbatch plays a character who clearly has Asperger's. It just seems like it's a very popular thing right now. But for you, as you're watching these kinds of things, do you feel like there's anything that's accurate, inaccurate, anything you've liked, anything that you haven't liked?
One of my favorite movies about that is called Mozart and the Whale.
I haven't seen that.
It's a great movie. It's a love story between two Aspies, and it's extremely accurate. I mean, in fact, it's written by the man who wrote Rain Man, Ronald Bass, and I met him, and I told him at Joey's, believe it or not. I met him at Joey's. He was a guest speaker, and I told him, because the main character, Donald Morton, who is played by Jeff, I forget his name. But anyway, the protagonist has the Asperger's, and he flaps his hands. And I flap my hands too when I get a little bit anxious or whatnot. And I just said to him, you know what, I really appreciate you putting that in there and getting that accurate. So I'm kind of always on guard when I watch those kinds of movies, and I think my film stands out a little bit because it's not a neurotypical filmmaker trying to guess what the experience of an Aspie is like. It's coming from the source. Yeah,
it comes right from the heart. Well, I think it's remarkable. I think you're remarkable. I think you're going to do a lot of great things. We're very excited that you're here so that we can say, oh, we knew him when.
Well, thank you in my Oscar speech.
Hey, you heard it here. I'm holding you to that.
Okay.
But no, I think it's wonderful, and I can't wait to see what you do next. So congratulations to you, and congratulations to your parents for making sure that you had a way to feed that passion. So.
Well, my parents are teachers, and so they know a little bit about it, but in all seriousness, I love my parents so much, and they've been incredibly supportive of me no matter what, and I'll love them no matter what, but especially for not going, maybe you should do something else. It's like, no, you want to do this, you got the gift, we're going to encourage you.
Well, all of us parents needed to hear that today, didn't we? What a wonderful, wonderful tribute.